Started. So thank you so much for being here today. Just to give you a quick overview on the agenda of today's session, we will first be introducing the program, the EU Business Hub program to Japan and the Republic of Korea. Then give you a quick insight on the Green and Low Carbon Technology Korea 2025 business mission that we will be hosting. Then we'll give you some tips and tricks on how to apply and how to make your application a very competitive one. And finally, answer any questions. So that's a bit the gist of it for today. So without further ado, I'll get quickly started. So in terms of the program itself, the EU Business Hub, it's actually a very long-standing initiative of business-to-business cooperation. It's actually been existing for several years now, as you can see. It started in the 90s and has been expanding and expanding year after year until today. So as you can see, the program has had several names. You've probably heard of the EU Business Avenues or the EU Gateways Business Avenues. So these were previous editions of the program. And so we're very happy to come back with a new one this year from 2024 to 2027. This edition of the program really focuses on Japan and the Republic of Korea. So we're very much excited, and the team is very happy to be working on this because we were present in the previous editions of the program. So this is a great opportunity for us to leverage our previous learnings and to keep supporting European companies in their internationalization journey. So that's a bit on the overview of the history of the program. Now, just to give you a quick idea of what we specifically look at the EU Business Hub. Well, first, we are an EU-funded program that supports EU SMEs and startups, and specifically in the fields of green, digital, and healthcare. So these are the three main sectors, and we'll go a bit deeper into them so you have a bit of an overview. And we really support SMEs and startups to enter the Japanese and Korean markets. So really that's the objective of the program. The program will be organizing 10 business missions to Japan and 10 business missions to the Republic of Korea over the next 4 years. We've already had 2 business missions that successfully took place. We're flying for another one in a couple of weeks now, so it's quite an exciting space to be in, and the program has fully started. And then finally, just to give you an idea of how many companies are usually joining us, so we usually go with a group of 50 innovative companies that will be selected for the program, hence the necessity of a quality application. And these companies will benefit from extensive business coaching through the participation during the program. And we'll deep dive into that a bit more in that session. So just as a quick recap, as you can see, we have 2 key markets, Japan and the Republic of Korea, 3 key sectors, green and low carbon technologies, digital solutions, healthcare and medical equipment, and 20 business missions over the course of the next few years until 2027, with 10 in Japan, 10 in Korea, and 50 companies per business mission, which is quite a significant amount of number of companies at the end of the day. So hopefully many of you are in the virtual room today. As a quick overview and just for your information, so among these 3 sectors that the program focuses on, there is a split per country. So for instance, in the Republic of Korea, we look at the 3 key sectors. So healthcare and medical equipment, digital solutions, as well as green and low carbon technologies. So these 3 sectors will be represented in the Republic of Korea. In Japan, we have the green and low carbon technologies, as well as digital solutions. So these are a bit the split for our business missions in the next 2 years in our 2 target countries. So now you're probably all very much interested in one key sector, which is the green and low carbon technology one, because it's the sector of the business mission we're presenting today. So just for you to know a bit more about this sector, we specifically look into, let's say, 5 big categories under this sector. So we look for companies, so SMEs and startups in the field of clean energy technologies, energy system, as well as environmental monitoring analysis and assessment equipment. We also look into companies that are active in circularity, as well as environmental and climate change mitigation technologies or solutions in general. So as you can see, we have these 5 big buckets of interest that are covered under the green and low carbon technology sector. And so here my main message is, if you're a company active in one of these fields, you probably have something to contribute here, and we're very much excited about your application, because I believe we have some interesting features in the program that will help you put in practice your internationalization strategy in the field. So just as a quick overview of the different objectives of the program, there are 4 of them, and I think they're quite straightforward. But the first one is really trade facilitation, which means really ensuring that we facilitate business cooperation between Japan and the Republic of Korea, making sure that this aligns well with all of the different agreements in place, with the green and digital partnerships, for instance. So here specifically for the field of green energy technologies. The second one is about SME support. As you will see, we really provide tailored assistance to companies in order to establish business connections in the target countries. The third one is the promotion of the EU brand. And here it's really making sure that we provide the right stage and the right visibility to the EU brand, to the EU businesses, display the EU standards, and show all the innovative companies that are present in the region. And finally, the last one is enhanced market insight. So pretty much here supporting European companies in better understanding the local market, the culture, the rules, the practices, and ultimately enhancing their experience, enhancing their access to the Asian markets. So that's a bit the 4 pillars of the program that we try to embed in every step. So the team is really here to implement these and support you in achieving these objectives. Now, just to give you a bit of an idea of our approach within the program and how it's divided across the business mission. The first part is about our support before the business mission, and this includes 3 key elements. The first one being matchmaking. So the idea is that companies are a bit in the driving seat of this, and provide the team with a wish list of type of companies, type of sectors, actors, stakeholders that would like to meet during the business mission. So we support and facilitate this bridging, let's say. The second point is business intelligence, and here it's pretty much providing briefs to participants on the markets, the culture, and making sure that companies are supported on every step to facilitate their entry and their contact with the local market. The third one is the logistics to guide and select companies in their preparation of the business mission. So anything related to accommodation, booth decoration, translation, so which is, for instance, part of customized services that are provided by the program, study tours. So we really aim at providing a bit of a comprehensive package and support companies in all of that logistics, so that once you're there, you can really fully focus on the business mission and meeting the right stakeholders once you're there. The second bit is during the business mission. So Here, it's notably related to matchmaking, so facilitating those one-on-one meetings that are prepared during the matchmaking period. And so once you reach the target market and the fair, you will be invited to meet local companies, participate into networking opportunities, for instance, which I think is a very valuable insight of this program. It really gives you access to local companies. We have local teams as well in charge of facilitating that matchmaking and that networking. So it's a good opportunity to also mingle with your peers, because you're still a group of 50 European companies active in the same field, traveling together. So lots of networking opportunities foreseen. The second element is customized services. And so here it's important to maybe have a quick look at this. So there is financial support that is foreseen to support participants logistically during the mission, whether it's related to the decorations of the booth, the printing, the translation, interpretation, shipping of elements. All of these elements are also supported, at least partially, by the program to also ease the company's experience. And finally, related to accommodation, there's a financial support with up to €1,000 for 4 nights, 1 room per company in Seoul. So this will cover the accommodation fee for during the duration of the business mission. So as you can see, it's quite of a comprehensive and interesting package that also extends to after the business missions. And so here, the team will really look at post-event follow-up, supporting companies in their efforts in providing us with feedback, supporting in like any ad hoc task or needs that you may have to remain in touch with local companies. So that's a bit the whole journey that as a company participating into our program you will get, and a bit of a snapshot of our what I like to call our 360 degrees approach. So voilà, that's a bit of an overview of what we offer in the program. Maybe just for your information, before we move on to the business mission, we have a couple of business missions that will be coming up, as you can see here for Korea. So we have a few in the field of digital and in the field of healthcare, but also 2 more coming up for green and low carbon technologies. As you can see, one in 2025, so for the month of June, and another one later in 2026. So that might be of your interest. Similarly, in Japan, we have what we just came back from. We'll be heading very soon to the Smart Energy Week, but we just came back from the Semicon Japan one, for instance. So as you can see, there are quite some opportunities coming up in the next few years for your companies to follow us and embark on our business missions in Japan in the field of green and low carbon technologies. So that's a bit of an overview on the program itself. Feel free to drop any questions in the chat. In the meantime, I will give the floor to my colleague, Paolo, that will be introducing our business mission today.
Thank you, Tatiana. Yes, let's move now to the business mission we are presenting today. The company selected for this business mission will have the opportunity to travel to Seoul, Republic of Korea, from the 9th to the 13th June 2025. They will have 3 days of B2B matchmaking sessions, study tours. They will visit MBEX 2025 and have the opportunity to network with the local stakeholders. In the next slide, we will see the business mission agenda for this specific business mission. It will be a 5-day business mission starting in 9th June with an arrival and networking reception. In the second day, we'll have the briefing sessions and study tours and site visits. And in the following 3 days, from the 11th to the 13th, we will have the matchmaking and networking sessions, visits to the MBEX, to finally close the business mission with a post-business mission debriefing and the organizers debriefing. In the next slide, We have some pictures from the previous business missions organized in the framework of this program. This one was organized to South Korea too, called Digital Solutions Korea 2024. Here we can see some pictures from the welcome gathering, B2B meetings, and the exhibition venue. In the business mission, in the next slide, sorry, we will have we can see the specific benefits that companies selected for this business mission will be receiving. First, pre-departure preparation. Selected companies will have an overview of the green transformation market in the Republic of Korea, overview of the green policy in the EU-ROC relations, and they will understand the South Korean audience. The second benefit is the B2B matchmaking support, as companies will receive a prearranged agenda of B2B meetings. The selected companies will have the opportunity to provide a wish list of companies they would like to meet during the business missions, and they will receive an individual and tailored schedule of business-to-business meetings with carefully selected South Korean companies. Also, each company will have an individual exhibition space at the exhibition venue, in this case, the Grand Intercontinental Seoul Partners. They will also meet and exhibit with more EU cutting-edge companies in their field and will have a targeted promotion of their products and services. Also, the program covers the visitor fee at MBEX 2025. It's the International Exhibition on Environmental Technology and Green Energy. In the following slide, we also see we still have more benefits for selected companies, such as strategic coaching. Selected companies will receive sector briefs, online on-site industry and sectoral briefing sessions, and site visits to sector-relevant facilities. Also, the program provides a logistical support, such as interpretation, booth installation, design and creation of digital business mission catalog and promotional material. We also have a financial support up to 1,000 euros for the accommodation at Grand Intercontinental Zone Partners, an additional up to 1,000 euros for customized services to benefit from a venue of additional customized services such as interpretation, legal advice, booth decoration. Here we have some pictures from previous editions of the MBEX event that companies will have the opportunity to visit in June 2025. Here we can see the timeline of this specific business mission. The 21st February is the unique deadline to submit the expression of interest and the application form. In March, we'll have the communication of the results to the communication of selection results to the participants. In mid-April, selected companies will have the online pre-departure briefing to finally embark on the business mission in June 2025. In the following slide, we have the specific subsectors that we are looking for this business mission. For this specific business mission, we are looking for European SMEs and startups involved in the green and low carbon technology sector, such as clean energy technologies, energy systems, environmental monitoring, analysis and assessment equipment, circularity, and environmental and climate change mitigation technologies and solutions. So if you belong to any of these subsectors, you are more than welcome to apply for this business mission. Now, if you have any question, please feel free to write down and we can address them at the end of the event. And now let's have a look at how to apply for these specific business missions. So we do have eligibility criteria for the EU SMEs startups that want to participate in these business missions. The first requirement is to exist for 5 years and be able to demonstrate 3 years of financial figures. That's in case of SMEs. And in case of startups, to exist for 3 years and be able to demonstrate 2 years of financial figures. The second requirement is to be entirely or majority EU-owned and have a headquarters in the European Union. The third requirement is to be active and operational in one of the economic sectors covered by the program, either as a producer, subcontractor, or as a research and development or engineering company. Please note that business consultants are not eligible for these business missions. The fourth requirement is to have a proven track record of international business cooperation outside the European Union. The fifth, to have a sufficient turnover and number of people employed to successfully enter the target market. And the sixth requirement is to have a solid business strategy for entering the Japanese and South Korean markets. Good thing for the companies is that each company, each SME and startups can participate in up to 3 business missions distributed between both target countries, with the opportunity to engage in a maximum of 2 business missions in the same country. This means that the same company can participate in up to 2 business missions in South Korea and a third one in Japan, or 2 business missions in Japan and a third one in South Korea. In the next slide, we have the business mission cycle. So we have these green boxes where you can see registration, expression of interest, application, and selection. These 4 boxes belong to the selection process. Then we have the mission preparation and pre-departure meeting with the selected companies. Then these companies will embark on the business mission. And after the business mission, of course, we'll have a post-event to follow up with the selected companies that traveled in the business mission. So let's move to the next slide, the registration. In the next slide, we can see how to create an account on our website, eubusinesshub.eu. You can either scan the QR code or access our website, and you will find these green boxes where you can create an account. In the next slide, please, we invite you to register by filling in your information and creating an account. And you will be required to provide an email address, create a password, company name, country, and VAT number. Once you have created an account, we move to the second step, is the submission of the expression of interest. In the next slide, we can see that once you have created your own account, you will see the business missions that we have open at the moment. So at this stage, you just have to select the business mission you want to participate in and fill in the expression of interest form and submit it by the set deadline. In the expression of interest form, you will be required to provide information on the company details, contact person details, business activities, and motivations to participate in the business mission. Once you have submitted the expression of interest, the evaluation team will check your profile, and if your company profile is eligible for the specific business mission, you will be invited to apply. Otherwise, if your company profile is not eligible for this specific business mission, please do not hesitate to reach out for feedback, and your company may be eligible for another business mission. Please note that the expression of interest is not the finalized form, as eligible companies will still need to submit the application form. In the next slide, we can see that we are already in the third step of the process, the application form. The next slide, please. Once your company profile has been deemed eligible to participate, you will be invited to apply. So please log into the members area and complete and submit the application form within the set timeline. Then these applications will be assessed by independent experts using predefined criteria. And of course, again, if your application is unsuccessful, feel free to contact us for feedback, and you may be eligible to participate in another business mission. Here we have 3 points that we want to highlight. The first one is that the application is a 2-step process composed of the expression of interest form and the application form, and you need to complete both forms to apply for a business mission. The second one is that the application form is meant to give you the opportunity to showcase your activity in the best way possible. So please take time to properly detail each of the categories. And in the application form, you will be required to provide information on company details, business profile, business activities, international strategy, and participant details. So after you have submitted the expression of interest, we have the fourth box there, the selection. 50 companies will be selected for the business mission. These selected companies will have the business mission preparation, the matchmaking, coaching, and logistical aspects before embarking on the business mission. Also, they will have the pre-departure meeting and to finally embark on the business mission. Now we'll have a look at the tip and tricks for the applications. I'll give the floor to my colleague Tatiana again.
Thank you, Paolo. Indeed, as you mentioned, there are a couple of steps, but we really tried to make the application process as easy and smooth as possible. So, for instance, when you fill in your expression of interest, part of it is already reused in your application so that you don't have to refill it again. So make sure to really put effort into it, and that brings me to my my first point in terms of tips and tricks, which is when you do your expression of interest, your EOI, make sure to detail it as much as possible and provide as much information as possible, because it saves you up sometimes for the moment of application. So here, the best advice I can give is be descriptive, provide the assessment team with as much information as possible and as precise as possible, to enhance your chances of being selected. So really the idea here is to build the narrative and show us that you're a good fit. So really show us how your product is relevant, or your service or software, whatever it is, shows how it is relevant to the business mission, the market, the sector. Why is it competitive? Why does it have an edge? So these are our important elements. To accompany you in this process, we have established what we call clusters, which are basically several organizations that are here to support you and that are trained to help you filling in your application, filling in these expression of interest, for instance, in the most adequate ways. So don't hesitate to reach out to them. Their contacts will be also at the end of this presentation, and it's also on our website. So don't hesitate to leverage on the team. The team is very available and always here to answer any of your questions, to make sure that you build your expression of interest and later your application in the best way possible. Finally, as Paolo said, ask for feedback. The team will always be very much willing to provide you with information on your feedback, and sometimes it can be extremely helpful because a company might be a bit too young to apply, for instance, but the next year would be a perfect fit. So never forget to ask for the feedback to understand where are the blocking points, what are the obstacles, so that you can learn from it and apply to all the business missions that are coming up. Because as you can see, we have a packed schedule for the next few years. Now, a couple of do's and don'ts for the applications. So here, for instance, let's start with the thing is not to do. I think it's the ones that are the easier to explain. But basically, avoid any generic description in your application. As I said, the more detailed, the better. I know there is a certain number of character, obviously, in the application, but there is enough for you to here be a bit descriptive. So make sure that when you describe the target market, you focus specifically on the target country. You really have an idea of like the target audience in that country, the business activities and profile that you would like to showcase. Don't remain general. Don't remain too close to regional insights. We really want to see how in practice this specific market is the one that is interesting for your services. It's really the kind of details that experts that assess your applications look at. So make sure that you provide as much detail as possible. Another point that is very important in the don'ts is make sure that the numbers that are requested in the application, so for instance, number of people in the company, turnover, all of the financial data that are requested are consistent. We've seen applications in which these numbers are not consistent throughout, which does not help an application and kind of undermines it when the product or the company might have actually a solid case. So please be careful to the consistency in the applications. In the do's here, several elements that I really want to highlight are first, the target audience. Always make sure that the target audience in the target market is clear, that we know which kind of companies you would like to meet. If you have names specifically, that's also very much appreciated. Which are the stakeholders you have identified. So show us that you've done some prep work and that you know why you're going there and who you want to meet, because this is one key aspect of the program, is that we facilitate matchmaking. So provide us with the right information so that we can help you as much as possible on this. The second element is to really show your company's competitive edge. Show us that it is a unique company in Asia, but also specifically here on the Korean market. Why on this market are you unique? Who are the competitors? Price-wise, why are you more competitive, more interesting, quality-wise maybe also. So please do not hesitate to add these elements. It's things that are extremely good differentiators when it comes to the selection. Finally, one more point is about the target market itself. Why specifically this one? Is it because there are some connections, synergies that your company is looking for, that your company has potentially previously made or would like to pursue? If you have, for instance, participated to one of our first business mission and would like to pursue the connections you've done in the past, it's also something extremely good to highlight. One last element, but I think that I said it already quite a lot. Provide as many details as possible. This is how this is the key differentiator, and this is what people assessing applications look at. So you have the possibility to upload documents, for instance, to link elements. Please leverage that and use it as much as possible. So that's a bit of an overview on the do's and don'ts. Here we have a quick example from the application form, just to give you an idea of one of the questions and what is the best way to answer it. For instance, in the application form, you have a question that says, please provide a short description of your international business strategy, especially with regard to the market of this business mission. A good answer would look at 5 different elements. The first one being detailing what the overarching ambitions of the company are on the international stage, and the relevance of this strategy for the product they have. Then it would be important to provide a detailed rationale on why specifically the Korean market is interesting. It could be because of the target audience. It could be because of the technologies, the synergies. And here I leave it up to you. You know your business and your market better than anyone else. The third point would be to detail the edge of your company. Why is internationalization key for it? Why are you an attractive company for this? So that's an important element to highlight. A fourth point is to detail what are the specific steps you have taken in the past or will be taking to achieve your international ambitions. It's not about only traveling there. It's about what kind of connections you're making. What is the strategy? What are the next steps? Like, is it finding local producers? Is it finding contacts first? What are the things that you are putting in place to achieve this? Finally, if relevant, describe any current or past involvement, lessons learned of previous programs, because if you participated in similar program funds from the EU or your member state, for instance, you can obviously participate to the EU Business Hub as well. So do not hesitate to showcase this experience, showcase the lessons learned, and any experience that could be relevant for anyone to understand that your application is the right one. So these are a bit the key elements to keep in mind when you write your application, and a bit the narrative that we are requiring companies to build when applying to the program. Last but not least, I'm just here sharing on the screen a couple of contacts. So these are the clusters that are at your disposal to support you in developing your EOIs, but also your application. They're here to answer any question you may have. We're in close contact with them. So if whatever goes through them is also something that we tackle during like in the program itself. So depending on which country you're based in, you have a different point of contact. So here are clusters. Please do not hesitate to leverage and use them to create your successful application. Now, I see that we still have a little bit of time, so just wanted to open the floor here to questions, if any. So do not hesitate to drop anything in the chat. Paolo, I don't know if you see anything in the chat yet.
I think we didn't receive any questions yet.
All right, so maybe let's. I know it's a lot of information, so let's give it some time to sink in. Also, in the meantime, I would request, if possible, your feedback, as it's a very important point for us when we deliver these services and the program. We really want to make it as useful as possible for companies. So do not hesitate to share your feedback here. Maybe before ending this, just checking the chat again if any questions. But yeah, as you were able to see, I think there are a couple of interesting elements, which are the fact that the program facilitates networking, facilitates matchmaking. That's something that is key and puts you in touch with local companies that you would like to meet. So that's why also companies are really here, as I like to say, in the driving seat, because you provide us with your request and we try to accommodate them as much as possible. So that's why good prep work, good market insight is relevant and very important to prepare the business mission, and can definitely influence and enhance the outcomes of it when you're there. Another element is that you're traveling with another 49 companies in your field, so that's also a good opportunity to network. And the program also gives you the financial support and the possibility to join the business missions several times. So I think it's quite attractive for European companies to join us. Maybe before closing this, if no questions, please stay connected to us. We have an X account, a LinkedIn account, as well as a YouTube channel. You can also email us at our support mailbox that we check and are quite reactive directly to it. We have a full team here at your disposal to support. Contact your clusters, and do not hesitate to visit our website if any questions.